Subscribe to Mario Bobino's YouTube channel. See you later.
Yo, welcome to Debonair Productions, LLC. I see ya with your host, Mario Bobino. T. Calloway signing
Hello,
out.
viewers. Welcome to another edition of I See You, and I'm here today with Mr. Lionel Be. How you doing, Lionel Be?
I'm doing great, Mario. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm just a pleasure to be here with one of my former teammates from the Wildcats, the 10-0 team, but we'll get off into that a little later. But let's start off. Lionel Be, you're from Oakland, born and raised. Went to Manzanita Elementary, then went to McChesney, then you went to Oakland High before your beautiful career started. Now, before I go into that, I mean, did you know this, or was you aware that when you was at Manzanita Center, this is how powerful Manzanita, in the heart of the Dubs in Oakland, was you aware that you was at Manzanita Center with Aaron Goodwin, the promoter? You was in the third grade.
Aaron Goodwin, the sports agent.
Yes.
Yes.
You didn't know that, did you? Because
Yeah.
you went to Manzanita too.
No, I knew Aaron and
His
I
twin
grew up
brother.
with him and Eric and Regina, his sister.
Oh, yeah. She went to school with me.
So, my Uncle Thomas actually they coached Aaron in the 6th grade, I think, in basketball.
But did you also know who was playing in the sandbox during that time was Sway, John Calloway?
I knew Sway. I know Sway.
He went to Manzanita, though. Did you know that?
Yes, we all went to school together.
That's
We all
powerful.
went together.
Three powerful figures from Oakland all went to the same elementary school in the Dubs. And I just had to get that out there for my people. So as we get off into this interview, they're going to know how powerful all three of you guys are. Well, they already know Aaron Goodwin, a sports agent for Damian Lillard and many other pro figures, Gary Payton, Jason Kidd, and then Sway, who interviewed the president. So, man, greatness in the Dubs right there. So let's start it off. Lionel Be, you're a big-time promoter, and very proud of you because when you came out of high school, well, you was kind of doing it in high school, but you didn't really know that at the time. But then you had the opportunity to work with the legendary Bill Graham, which is a big-time promoter, did, I mean, many concerts that man has did. So you was working underneath him. What was it like working for Bill Graham?
Well, one, I didn't work for him.
Okay.
We actually were business partners.
Well, that makes it even better. So how did that come about?
So, so in high school, you started there. The first event I ever promoted was the week we were in the 10-0 game against Skyline, the championship game. And I think Skyline was eight wins, 1 tie. We were 9 wins and no losses, right?
Yes.
So it was undefeated versus undefeated. And so my friend Marcus Dupatty, he had the big basement, a duel in Marcus Dupatty, but Marcus is my boy. We decided we're going to throw a party.
Yes.
And we're going to throw a celebration party. And Aaron's sister, Regina Goodwin, I think she was head cheerleader.
She was, no, my girlfriend was Lord.
Okay, right. But so Regina was one of the cheerleaders.
Yes.
And she said, okay, Lion, I'm going to order the cake. She said, are you sure you want me to put 10-0 on the cake? And I said, yeah, because we're not losing. So, but anyway, Marcus and I threw this party in his basement, and I can talk about it now because it was many decades ago.
Yes, it was.
But we had champagne, we had beer, and we were selling them in the little cups for $1. The house was packed. By the way, we beat Skyline and became 10-0 into the season 10-0. And so Marcus's basement was huge, but it was about 150, maybe 200 people at that party, and you were there.
Of course.
And it was a great time. So that really sparked my urge to promote concerts and everything. So that was my junior year. So my senior year, decided I'm gonna throw a party, try to make some money. And so I rented out Merritt College. They had like a hall. And Merritt College is in the Oakland Hills. You can oversee the city. It's a beautiful view. And it's the same place where Holy Names and other high schools would have their parties and dances at some time. So that's how it started. We made our star tailback, Dwayne Porter, had a girlfriend named Robin. I asked Dwayne, could I speak to Robin about, coming in on the party with me because she went to Holy Names at one point.
Right.
And so her and myself and my boy Mike that's Mike Mitchell, and that's how I started. And we threw a party, man, and made $900. And if a kid make $900 today, you'd be like, that's a lot of money. But imagine it like, 42 years ago.
Yeah, that's correct.
So, and then that sparked my interest in promoting concerts. So as far as the Bill Graham thing goes, when I left high school, I went to the College of Alameda. I took all the business classes and the marketing classes and advertising and all the things that had to do with business and marketing. And I saw a listing for a seminar called "You Want to Be in." So you want to be in the music business, and Bill Graham was going to be there speaking, and so I went to this conference and heard him speak, and he was there with Journey's manager, and I think there was another manager there from another big rock band.
Rolling Stones?
No, it was somebody local.
Oh,
but
the Kimmy Garcia, the guy.
No, I can't remember who it was, but it was a great seminar, and so that day, Bill Graham said to everyone in the seminar that hey, I'm going to give you my phone number, my office number, and you can call me Monday morning between noon and 5, and I'll answer any of your questions. And so that day I called him. It was the next day or two. I called him up on that Monday and got a chance to speak to him and ask him a few questions. And then, that was roughly around 1983.
Right.
And, man, from there, I started on promoting concerts, parties, and then I ended up meeting up with Bill Graham again a few years later.
That's what's up. So let me ask you this, because a lot of people don't really understand what a promoter has to do. And I remember this before you answer this question. I remember you had another business partner, I'm not going to mention his name at the time, but I remember you used to be at all the parties putting flyers on people's car doors and things of that nature. I remember them days, Lionel. Don't think I forgot about them. We'd be in the party, come out like, what are you doing out there, Lionel Be? I need people to come to my concert. So what is the responsibility of a promoter?
A promoter is like, it's like your mother. Right? She's responsible for everything. She's responsible for your clothing, your shelter, your mom and dad, responsible for clothing, shelter, food, everything, a clean house, all that. So as a promoter, I'm responsible for, number one, the safety of the patrons. But, we book the venues, we secure insurance, we book the talent, we book sound and lights, and, catering for the artists, sometimes hotels, ground transportation. We're basically responsible for any aspect of the concert experience.
Now, people don't know this, and because I remember, you putting on these big concerts, like the latest one you do is really huge now, the one they held at the Dungemere. You just had a Stone Grove?
Well, Stone Soul concert,
yes.
It's at Concord Pavilion these days.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Well, but I remember you doing all these concerts, and I remember you took a chance on somebody, and I'm like, damn, you had some kahunas to do this one. Todd Shaw Too Short. You gave him his first concert. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Oh, yeah, I knew it.
No, but I'm saying, because remember, we knew Too Short, 75 Girls, and what was coming out of his mouth and things of that nature, and you took a chance. Why did you take a chance on Too Short?
Well, the show that Too Short performed on, his first show, that was actually before 75 Girls. Okay. It was before he had a record deal. So
right. But why did you take a chance?
So I graduated in 82. So in 83, I was still in the area. I went to the Oakland High homecoming football game. And there was a guy named Clyde from 90th Avenue, from the 90 Lovers. And Clyde had a boombox, and he was bumping this song. The beat was the Genius of Love beat. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. And this guy is rapping on it. And I said, hey, Clyde, who is that? And he said, that's this dude from Fremont High School. Right. And I went, really? And he told me his name. And I said, Too Short, okay. And so I thought that was interesting. So one day, man, about a year later, my car broke down. and I had to go downtown, and I was riding the bus. And I'm on the back of the bus. And there's a guy sitting there with a hat on that said Too Short. And so somebody was talking to him, and I saw his hat, and I said, "Hey man, you that rapping dude?" And he said, "Yeah, you know." So I got his phone number. I said, "Man, I'm gonna put you on a show." It was just that simple. I said, "I'm gonna put you on a show." He said, "Okay, cool." So he gave me his number. So I don't know, 6 months later or whatever, we're promoting this show at the Henry J. Kaiser Arena with Roxanne, UTFO.
Right.
There was a few other
Rockmaster
Rockmaster Scott,
Yes, I was at that.
who sang the "Roof Is on Fire" song, right? So
That was Houdini.
no, the "Roof Is on Fire" is Rockmaster Scott,
Oh, gotcha,
right?
gotcha.
So during the time we put this show together, I lost his number, so I don't know how to contact him or anything. And so one of my partner at the time, who was the other promoter we were doing the show with, named Eddie Wilson, Eddie said, just put him on the poster, he'll find us. So that was a little reckless, but Too Short, he didn't have a record deal or anything. So anyway, I put him on the poster, and we put the posters up all over East Oakland. And he ended up getting my number from Henry J. Kaiser. He called me up. He says, "Hey, I'm supposed to be on a show." And I said, "Hey, it's Lionel. You met me on the back of the bus." So that's how the relationship started.
And isn't it so ironic that in the video, "I Ain't Trippin'," you guys was on the bus?
Well, that was the point of him putting me on the bus, because that's how we met.
That's what's up.
So he thought it was a good idea to do that.
Right,
So
that's what's up.
So the Too Short thing was a mutual thing. People, I've heard people say, "Oh man, you started Too Short." No, I didn't start him. Too Short would have been successful with or without me. But yeah, I helped him, and we helped each other. I mean, he boosted my name, my Q rating in the marketplace, and I helped him by putting him in front of thousands of people to perform. And then later on, when he got a record deal and everything, he invited me to be a part of his management team, and so that was cool. That was a great experience.
Very successful concert, because I remember I came from Sac State just to be there. Now let me ask you this, Lionel, because we're both born and raised in Oakland. So what was it like growing up in Oakland? Because we know Oakland's it's a different city.
Yeah, it's funny. Too Short had he just interviewed, he did a video, it's online somewhere, and he said, "You can line up 10 people from Oakland," right? And he said it could be, some brothers from the hood, it could be dudes in a suit, guys that go to church, a white dude, a Mexican dude, whatever. He said, and you wouldn't know who was the most dangerous person in that crew. So having said that, Oakland is home of the Black Panthers, the Hells Angels, and the Oakland Raiders. And it lived up to that reputation,
Yes.
It was a tough city, and it wasn't always easy to navigate through, But it was during a time where your parents would let you just go outside and let you catch the bus to the other side of town, go skating downtown,
Right.
or ride your bike to the lake, or, we'd ride our bikes to Alameda, to the beach. So, but having said that, Oakland was a tough place, but there was some kind of synergy there, some kind of, some kind of homeboy synergy. People kind of looked out for you, but it was dangerous if you looked for trouble. If you, put yourself in certain situations, it could be deadly. But for the most part, you keep your nose clean and just live your life, treat people fair, you could get through it. But it was a tough place to navigate.
Yes, it was. On board it was, but we made it. Now let me ask you this. We played football together. You're 1 year younger than me, and we played on the 10-0 team, and to this day, we're going to have that for the rest of our lives. What did playing football for Oakland High, what did that give you? What did that teach you?
Well, I grew up on 23rd Avenue.
Right.
And so, in East 22nd, right? So I would see people like Stephen Kelly, and I can't even think of the others, but like my cousin Dennis Taylor.
Oh yeah, the Taylor.
Yes. They would come home with their football helmets or shoulder pads or whatever, and being a football fan, and like Oakland High was the standard, so it was like, man, I want to go to Oakland High, and I want to play football for the Oakland High. You know what I mean? And so, being that it was a solid program, we had a great head coach. It was a disciplined program.
Yes.
It was something to aspire to, something to lose. If you didn't keep your grades up, if you didn't behave in school, or if your mom or dad put you on punishment, you could. Football is everything to us, So it served me well. It taught me a lot of discipline. And Coach Young, we honored him a few years ago, and I told him that he taught me two things that stick with me to this day. One, he told me, he says, don't start working. He said, don't start working until you get your education. He said, because if you start working, you'll never go back to school. So I did that, and I heard him in my head. And the second thing he taught me is, like, under any circumstances, no matter how tough things are, don't ever give up. He said, don't you ever, ever give up. And so I've had some health issues in my life. I've had cancer a few times. I've had a couple of heart attacks, the stress of the business that I'm in or whatever. And through that, I could hear Coach Young telling me that you don't give up. So playing football at Oakland High, it just taught me discipline in business, to stay focused, teamwork, because you have to work. I played on the offensive line, and, it's interchangeable, it's interactive. You have to work together, And so football is the ultimate team sport, because the stars can't shine if the workers don't do their job on the offensive line, or the defensive line or whatever.
Yes.
So I think I got out of playing football at Oakland High, the discipline, the structure, and the stick-to-itiveness that you need in life and in business.
And let me give you your kudos, because I know you didn't forget, but I'm gonna let our viewers know. I had one of my best games as a slot back against Granada, and I remember you kept telling Ferris that you wanted to go. Well, who would you want to attack? Was it the strong safety?
It was the safety.
And remember, I got 2 big runs because of that, because of you.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, it was 26 counter.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Yeah. So I played left tackle. 26 counter was to the right.
Yes.
And on the 26 counter, for those who don't know,
Yes.
the tight end and tackle double team the defensive tackle, so there's a massive hole there.
Yeah.
The guards pull. What does the fullback do? Does he pull out there too?
I think I think the fullback, he was like, they gave him a fake dive.
Right. So the guards pull.
Yes.
So left tackle, I had nothing to do.
Yes.
So I wasn't fast. I wasn't slow, but
Right.
I figured out that we run 26 counter, I could sprint to the safety from my left tackle position, because I knew you were going to be there.
Yeah.
And I sprinted as fast as I could. And when I looked up, you were right on my hip.
Yep.
And it was a strong safety coming at me, and the free safety was behind him.
Yep.
And I hit the strong safety, and he kind of bumped off the free safety, and you ran for an 80-something yard touchdown.
Twice.
Okay.
Twice.
Was it twice? All right.
So actually, and then they took me out. Then Gerald Nels came in, and you busted it for him as well.
Wow. See, I didn't remember that one.
Remember.
But
I remember.
I just want everyone who sees this interview to know that the tragedy of this is we don't have film of it.
Yes. Well, now let's begin contact with Granada.
Well, we tried that. You tried it,
Yes,
right?
You're right.
We don't have film of that, but anyway.
Yeah. But just wanted to give you your kudos for being an outstanding offensive lineman.
No, I was okay. I wasn't great.
No, but you was good enough. I
I was
mean,
smart enough to figure that play out.
you helped me. You helped me. Now let me move forward. And what I really like about you as a business person, I know now you're with the Black Promoters Collective. And what's really inspiring me is I like how you still keep people connected that you grew up with. One of your business partners is the very lovely Janice Cotton that still works with you. So I admire you for that. So what made you want to continue to have relationships with people that you grew up with? Because I thought that's honorable. And Janice is smart.
Yeah. So Janice and I have known each other since Manzanita Elementary School. And you say she's smart. I was in the 4th grade class. She got skipped.
Yeah.
So Janice, so she is smart. And so I hate saying this out loud, but
Hey, and you said,
no, it's okay because she
and you
gonna see
said-
this interview.
You said you knew her since Manzanita?
Yeah.
And you're still working with her today?
Yeah,
That's amazing.
and I tell my son,
That's amazing.
my son's not in college, but I tell my son that you know, these people you go to school. My son goes, you know, he's been in private schools all his life. I say, hey, be connected with these people. Somebody's going to invent something big.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to be in business. You're going to be doing business with these people. So
Yes.
I said, I've known your auntie Janice since the 4th grade. So, yeah, so, I mean, you know, she's been a good partner with me all these years. And, you know, she plays her role and I play my role. And, you know, we grew our business, Bay Area Productions.
Yes.
And then during the pandemic, other production companies like ourselves, we got together, 6
Right.
of us, and started the Black Promoters Collective.
Right.
So, so that we can compete with the live touring space, in the
Yes.
live touring space. And so we've done some big tours the last couple of years we've been in business, and we have some big things that are coming.
So let me ask you this so my viewers know. Can you name some of the concerts that you have given just so people know? I mean, I know, but I want my viewing audience to know.
Well, okay, so under Bay Area Productions, the first concert I promoted was 1984. That was Run DMC.
Yes.
And so, but I've worked with Stevie Wonder, Beyonce, Jay-Z, 50 Cent, Alicia Keys, Maxwell, D'Angelo, Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, Lauryn Hill, Earth, Wind & Fire, Isley Brothers, Frankie Beverly, Jamie Foxx, I've toured, Chris Rock, I've toured, I've worked with Dave Chappelle,
Cedric the Entertainer.
Cedric the Entertainer, D.L. Hughley, you know, so it's been a lot of.
The list goes on,
Yeah.
but I just wanted my viewers to know this. Now, let me ask you this, because this is something I teach.
Oh, wait.
Oh.
I did I promoted the last B.B. King show in Oakland,
No way.
and I promoted Ray Charles' last appearance in Oakland as well.
That's what's up. That's why I had to get you on.
Right.
I see you.
And let me say Luther Vandross, we won't leave him out.
Ooh-wee. Okay. Very powerful. So let me ask you this, because I teach and I keep trying to tell my students teamwork is very important. Can you let my viewing audience know how important it is to have teamwork for a business?
Yeah. So let me just say I'm a Raider fan, right?
Yes.
I hate the New England Patriots.
Yes.
I'm friends with Willie McGinnis from the New England Patriots, so he's the only one I liked on the team, right? But I bring them up to say that Bill Belichick used to say, do your job.
Yes.
That's the mantra of the Patriots, right? Everyone do their job. And that's the key, I think, that if you're in business, so in my business, you know, someone has to book the show, someone has to negotiate the contracts, like literally read them and go through them and mark things off and sign them. And so someone has to issue contracts. Someone has to, advertise the show.
Right.
You know, we have to hire vendors, sound vendors, light vendors, sometimes video, limo companies, the stagehands that are connected to each venue. Everyone has to do their job, the ushers and the ticket takers, the box office. So, you know, there are 100 moving parts when you promote a concert.
Yeah.
And so I think that, you know, the venue provides some of the services, like most venues will provide box office service and security and ushers and ticket takers. And the stagehands are loosely affiliated with each vendor, but they're part of a union.
Mm-hmm.
They're loosely affiliated with each venue. So, but, you know, we still have to book sound and lights and video, and we have to manage the artists and have catering for them. So there are a lot of jobs that are associated with the concert business, and everyone has to do their job. So as a producer, you work with all these different people, as well as the artists and their management, their agency, and sometimes their record label. So, you know, you have to be somewhat organized, and you have to know what you're doing.
That's what's up. So let me ask you this. I got 2 more questions for you because I don't want to hold you up too much. I'm just glad you came. Okay. So boxing promoters and a concert promoter, what's the difference? Is there a major difference between the two? Like a Don King, because you and Don King is like night and day, but you guys both do the same thing to some degree.
There are a lot of similarities. Al Heyman, who runs the PBC,
Yes.
he's a former concert promoter. He was the best African-American concert promoter.
No, Lionel Be was the best. I got to step in and say that. I'm sorry.
Now, I'm going to give it to Al. But look, I appreciate that. So he got into the boxing business, right? So I'll just explain it this way. The job descriptions are very similar. You book the venues. In boxing, I mean, you book the fighter, you book the venues, you book the fighters, you agree to how much they're going to be paid. You have to be sanctioned by the state commissioner,
Right.
the state boxing commission, excuse me. And there's some other technical things that are particular to boxing. It's similar to promoting a concert.
Right.
What I think Al Heyman did was, the old model of boxing promotions, the promoter would make as much as the fighter or more than the fighter. You know, a promoter might make, you know, back in the day, $30, $40 million. The fighter might make 25, you know. So the promoters, through their contracts, have always being the guy to promote the champion. So if their champion lost, then they become the promoter of the guy who won. And so you're always attaching yourself to the belt. Little things like that allowed promoters to kind of manipulate the boxers and manipulate the business. And boxing's unregulated, right?
Okay.
So, but a guy like Al Heyman came in and he was like, whoa, wait a minute. You're the boxer, you're getting your head knocked off and you make less money. And so he showed the boxers how they can make most of the money. And he can make his cut as well, and he's doing a great job in it. And boxing is suffering, or the boxing promoters are suffering, the old school guys, from their greed.
Right.
Because you weren't going to be able to get away with it forever.
Yes.
And Al showed the boxers that you're the ones that are making this happen, and let me show you how to do it. And he gave them a new way of doing it. So to answer your question, it's very similar in a lot of ways. Just a different process. Some different people are involved. Like I said, it's you have state commissions, but for the most part, boxing is an unregulated sport.
So if a person wants to become a promoter, what advice would you give them?
Don't.
What? Come on now. I mean, you got some people that want to grind, that have that intestinal fortitude.
Well, you know, the promoter's the last person to get paid.
So that's what they need to know.
Right. So, you know, what some big promoter said when I first got into business, that if you can take, so today it would be $100 grand, but back in the day it was like, hey, if you can take $20,000 or $30,000 in cash, put it on a barbecue grill and set it on fire, and don't cry, then you can do this business. Because when people come to the shows or people interested, it's small word music, big word business, right? It's mostly business. People get into this for the wrong reason. Because everyone has CDs or everyone downloads music, everyone goes to concerts. So people think that they can do it. I mean, I've literally had people, this is my 40th year doing this. And there are people who really think, oh, I could do, no, you couldn't. Because like I said, there's 100 moving parts. Yeah. It's like saying you're going to fix a car.
Right.
If I took your car apart and put all the parts out on the parking lot and tell you to go fix it, you'd have to have some internal knowledge about how that engine operates in order to put it back together.
Yes.
When the concert business is the same thing. And so it's not as easy as people would think because people are familiar with music. They just like, feel I can just put these two artists together and make money, and it doesn't work that way. So, and the key is you can always lose more money than you can make. So you might be able to promote a show and make 50 grand, right? And it's 3-4 months of work, 5 months of work. So people think you just make it in one night. No.
Right.
Maybe you make 50 grand, right? Maybe you make 40, maybe you make 30 or 20, whatever. But you could lose $200,000 if you're wrong about how many people are going to buy tickets. You could lose $300,000, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. An Oakland Coliseum show will cost you upwards to $700,000.
Wow.
And you could, if only 2,000 people show up, and you just dropped $500,000.
So you better make sure that you promote.
Yeah, well, you might even promote it correctly, but did you book the right act?
Oh, okay.
So most promoters will tell you that you make money on when you book a show. Like, I'm gonna book this great combination.
Right.
Right? So it's a lot of different levels to it. But if I had to do it all over again, here's the dirty little secret. I probably wouldn't.
Wow. But it's in you, man. It's in you.
No, I enjoy it.
Right.
But I'd have started a record business.
Gotcha.
Because you could have sold your record company for $50 million back in the day.
Wow. That's correct. So let me ask you this before we move on to the last question. We know there's a lot of shadiness. I mean, you kind of talked about it. How can somebody who wants to get into the entertainment field, how could they avoid the shadiness that goes along with it? Because we do know that there's some shady stuff that goes along in the entertainment business.
The shadiness is usually by people who are 1 foot in, 1 foot out the business.
Gotcha.
There's not a lot of, there are people you don't want to do business with, but they weave themselves out. Like, you know of people's reputations, right? So how do you avoid it? Don't do business with them.
Well, let me ask you this. As an up-and-coming artist, you got a woman or a man that wants to sing, and then they sign away all their rights. So what advice can you give an artist like that, somebody who's about to sign with a record label company? Because we all know you have to read the fine print, but a lot of times promoters or that agent be like, here, just take the money. Don't worry about signing. And I want people to avoid that.
Well, you assume that everyone can read, right? No, right? Let's just assume that you graduated from high school, you can read, right?
Yes.
Just because you can read don't mean you understand what the contract means.
Okay.
Right? I mean, when your doctor prescribes medication, you don't know what it means.
Correct.
You have to Google it and look it up and read the side effects or whatever, right?
Yes.
The pharmacist knows that's his job.
Right.
So just because you can read a contract doesn't mean you understand really what it means. So if you're an artist, you should read up on the music business. There are several books out there. There's no reason that a lot of those groups in the 90s, in the 80s and 90s, should have gone broke because they could have, for $30, bought the Business of Music book and read about their publishing, their writers and mechanical royalties, and they could have understood all of how the business works. Now, what my old lawyer used to say is that sometimes people will sign a bad deal anyway because you just want to make it, right? I know this is a crappy deal, I'm going to sign it as an artist, right? Well, then fine, you can do that, but at least know what you're signing.
Yes.
And the key to, you remember TLC
Yes.
went through their thing, and there's a lot of artists out there, right? All those artists could have did one thing, one simple little thing, even though some artists sign bad deals. And that is if you put an escalator clause in your contract. Because in the beginning, the label's giving you $100,000,
Yes.
right? For your deal, you go in the studio, you're gonna make an album. But if you say, hey, if I sell 1 million copies, I like my royalty to bump up. And every $250,000 after that, I want it to bump up a 0.5 point, bump up a 0.5 point. And they looking at it like, the labels are looking at it like, well, yeah, he'll make this much percentage if the album sells 4 million copies. He ain't gonna sell 4 million copies because usually you don't.
Right.
But in Hammer's case, he did.
Right. Oakland guy.
And so if you have the escalator clauses in your contract, companies usually, they wouldn't even balk at it. Yeah, if you sell 5 million copies, we'll, and you sign it. And so because it's something they don't really trip off, and they never think you're gonna get there. Right. So Roxanne Shante, who's a rapper back in the 80s and 80s and early 90s, recently in the last 10 years or so, she wanted to go back to college and get her master's degree. So she called the record label and said, hey, I think it was Warner Brothers or one of them that owns the company now, and said, hey, I want to go back to school, and you guys, you know, supposed to pay for my college education, because she signed when she was below age.
Right, right.
They said, no, 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 no. She called her lawyer, and they looked at the contract, called the label, and said, yeah, you got it. And so she went back and got her degree and her master's degree and whatever it was she wanted to study.
Right.
That just goes to show that record companies ain't tripping off of putting certain things in. Back in the day, they weren't, at least, because they never thought she was going to go back to school.
Right.
You know? But, so just putting in escalator clauses back in the day would have helped those artists. Now, today, I'm totally unfamiliar with how the deals are structured today. It's a little bit different.
Yes.
So here's the answer to the question. Hire a reputable entertainment lawyer. Spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to get your deal right. Because if you hit it and you got a bad deal, you're going to want to kill yourself.
Yes.
And I don't mean that literally, but you're going to be very angry. So get the right deal up front, because if you hit it with all that talent, all them books of songs that you got and everything, when you hit it, you want to be able to take advantage of it. Hammer did.
Yes. So surround yourself with people that's looking out for your best interest.
Well, hire a lawyer.
Gotcha.
And there are plenty of entertainment lawyers around.
Right.
And just make sure that lawyer doesn't represent the record company at all.
Right.
There's no conflict. But when you're hiring a lawyer, don't call the lawyer that got your brother out of jail. Don't call the accident case lawyer that got you $10,000 in your car accident. You call an entertainment lawyer.
That's the key. That's the key. So let me wrap up this this interview with you. And what advice would you give to people? And when I say advice, I'm mostly thinking from people from college all the way down to, I'm gonna say, the 6th grade. What words of wisdom can you leave my viewing audience with? You have a son, so I'm pretty sure you gave your son plenty of knowledge. So look into this camera and give them some knowledge.
Yeah, I'm still working on that too. You know, number one, if you want to do something, learn all about it. Hang around with people that do it, right? Number two, get the best advice that you can get, and that could be the best attorney, the best manager. In life, you want to get the best advice. So, you know, life insurance, financial planning, investing, creating several streams of income. There are a lot of wealth building techniques out here that no one taught us when we were growing up. And so you want to learn about those things, you know, buy property, you know, and invest your money and save your money. And the biggest thing is, don't spend your money on depreciating assets. If you want to own a car, then create a corporation and put the car in your corporation's name. So at least you can write the gas off, the wear and tear, the maintenance and everything else. Wealthy people all own businesses. Their homes are in their business. They have family trust. They have life insurance that for every family member that repeats itself, so that the trust is always refilled when someone passes away. So I would say learn financial literacy techniques and wealth building techniques. Those are the secrets that black people just weren't taught. And when we hear them sometimes, it's like, come on, man, that couldn't be true. Like, how could it be a secret all that time? But they said, you want to keep a secret from us, put it in a book. So which brings me to, we need to read. We need to read and study about the things that we want to do. Personal development, which I'm working on right now, even at my age and my level, I need to develop more as a in personal business development. So you never stop learning. So that's the advice that I would give someone. And hey, if you want to do something, go do it. Just go do it.
Great words from you, Lionel B. Like I said, for me, it's a pleasure growing up with you, man, and I thank you for coming on. I see you because we recognize what you've been doing for years, and we got to give you your flowers, my brother. So thanks for coming on our show, and much continued success.
Thanks for having me, Mario.
What's up? This is Shamari Smith. I am asking everyone to please, please, please subscribe to Mario Bobino's YouTube channel. Got some amazing content, history, all on one page. I'm a part of a lot of it. Please check it out. Subscribe.
Yo, thanks for watching. I see you with your host, Mario Bobino. We out. T. Calloway.